반드시! 찌려! 누구이? 틀!直して今回おっつんです。
life is so hard, here it goes again. Time will wait for us, so I thought. Up and rest, out of luck, it's just the usual stuff and all. But where your footsteps go, what am I doing here? I don't know how you're feeling now, hope you were not lonely. Worrying about the weather, are you crying? Coming home, I'll be waiting for your words. I'll be there, proud of you. Can't wait to see you smiling. Coming home, but those words seem just to fade away. The sun has gone down long time ago. Our garden, our school, our neighborhood, places to love. Can't find anything left of you. On the highway to the border, even over the seven seas, can't find your footsteps, though still looking for your trace. I don't know what you're doing now, hope you're scared alone. No one will harm you, so please stop crying. Coming home, I'll be waiting for your words. I'll be there, You win!
Hello. Ooh. Oh, sorry. What's up? It's me. Yeah, it was. No, not tonight. Maybe someday. I do want to play it, but I may not play it on stream. I don't know. This is gonna be a pretty unusual one for me. I just didn't really feel like playing anything at all. But I did want to stream, so I figured we'd go pretty low key and chill with a nice slow paced RPG. Yeah, this is Tyranny. Boop, boop, boop. It's made by Obsidian, the folks what made Fallout New Vegas and Pillars of Eternity and some other stuff. Did I mute it? Is it unmuted? Unmuted. Okay. I have played this a little bit, but I'm gonna start this game just because, like, you know. There's the music. Let's go ahead and do normal. Just because. Why not? Why not? We have a hard time.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos
Yeah,
the
that's how I got it.
Overlord have
Let me
swept
change that
across
over.
the known. Them fell before their might.
Yeah, I got it on the
Even the
Epic Game Store.
Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
So I really like the setup of this game. You are straight up just playing a villain. Which is always fun. Let's see. I'm gonna try not to make the exact same character I made when I played by myself. We'll see how that goes. Things are going to be pretty chill tonight. I'm just going to be sitting here playing this game. Hey, Chew. And relaxing and eating Reese's Pieces. I mean, it kind of doesn't, Sam, but like, I don't know.
That wasn't so hard. On the lookout. I'm injured. Tired. Let's rest. Found something. Heads up, we have company. Flawless. You learn something every day.
That wasn't so hard. Moving cautiously.
We must rest.
Soon.
I like this. Yeah, let's go with the red hair. I think what do I think? I really do my best to make my portraits in RPGs like this match the characters' traits. So let's go with this. And say a magic youth. Try and match the hair as well as possible. That or this. Okay. Tattoos. Ooh. It makes sense, but I don't like that it's only on the one. I guess this also makes sense. The magic and shit. So let's go with that. Colors. Let's make these green. Red. Christmas. How did you join Kairos' army? Not wishing to pay to feed and house too, the madam had purchased your mother, sold you to the proving grounds of an empire's bloodiest, most notorious fighting arena. Given only enough training to assure that the show isn't too over too soon, your natural prowess and survival instinct led you to one great victory after another. There was no elegant swordplay, no formalized duels, just brutal melee and the stench of blood, shit, and bronze with each day's gruesome necessities. It is said that any fighter that slays a dozen others in the grand melee is given her freedom, but in 300 years only 3 warriors have ever walked away from the proving grounds. When the closing horn sounded and 13 corpses lay about your feet, you became the 4th to be granted freedom to thunderous applause. This autonomy was short-lived. Within days, word of your accomplishments made its way to the Archon of Justice. I don't want to be a soldier. Fuck that. Diplomat? Though they would never tell you why, Kairos bestowed great wealth upon your family for some unmentioned service. Your parents used this wealth to have you raised far from home. Childhood was a nomadic tour of Teradus with hired tutors and fleeting friendship. Where others had stability and routine, you had a worldly and varied education. A careless word in a far-flung city landed you in legal trouble, and you were taken before Tunon the Adjudicator and made to stand trial. Not only did you plead your innocence, but you turned the accusations around on the accuser for wasting the court's time. The Archon of Justice concurred. Amused by your wit, wisdom, and adaptability, Tunon claimed you as his newest enforcer. I like that. Primary expertise. Let's go with... Oh, shock spells. Ooh, yeah. Secondary expertise will do... Armed attack? No. Ghost Frost. Why not? No colors. This is important to me because I like when everyone is color coordinated. I feel like slushy cat colors are going to be difficult here. You can change these in the future, but... Yeah, let's go with the classic black and red. Why not? No, black. Bayonet station. A lot of these. Go with this, and we'll make it black and maybe I'll be black and gold also. Black and orange. Yeah, let's do black and black. And the name. There. That's me. He's strongly recommended because he was training in shock and frost spells. Okay, we'll dump 4 into that. And then 2 in here and 2 in here. Okay. Bunch in the magic staff. You in here. You in here. The rest in lore. Does that'll unlock dialogue options. Now here's the cool thing. There's something that I think is really cool in this game.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, marched south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors. until it's too late.
During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world in which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. 428 TR, Year 1 of Kairos' Conquest. Yeah, pretty much. Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. The Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target for Kairos' military conquest. I've heard about this on this series. I don't know if I would like it. I might. Its symbolic status and the circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking the city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is insurmountable. So let's see. Do we do the Gates of Judgment in the war? In the first major engagement of the war, Kairos' armies crossed the mountains and established a foothold. Or do we do infiltrate the Tears? Both armies sent their forces to prepare the way. I did this last, so we'll do this one. The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening call of the conquest of the Tears. The two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army whose approach best suited your strengths. Standing shield to shield with Kairos' ironclad elite, you advanced on the mercenary army purchased by the nobles of the Bastard City. The Legion wanted to send a message to the Tears that the superior breeding and disciplined training would win the day. Alternatively, with the Scarlet Chorus, you rushed in with the chaotic mass of the Scarlet Chorus, flanked the Bastard City's army, and drove them to flee. I'm gonna go with the Scarlet Chorus on these. Caught the mercenary army unprepared for the mania and disorder of the Scarlet Chorus. Your forces overwhelmed the Tears' defenses, and in a few short hours, packing and burning their way into the continent. Many mercenaries who survived the battle found themselves initiated into the Scarlet Chorus, tortured by ruthless interrogators, or made the sport of competition as the army marched ruthlessly forward. The Scarlet Chorus is little more than a gang of thugs and their captive slaves. Rather than organize under commissioned officers, the Chorus follow a hierarchy seemingly ruled by whoever has the bravado to command and defend their position. At the head of this chaotic pecking order, the Archon of Secrets, better known as the Voices of Nerat, treats the Scarlet Chorus as his personal army. The Scarlet Chorus often suffers tremendous losses after battle, only to swell in the aftermath when captured enemies and collateral prisoners are given the cruel opportunity to join or die. So, like, the idea behind the whole two armies thing is that, like, these are all armies of people that were conquered by Kairos. And I think it's implied that the Unchained started, or like were kind of started with Kairos, and then everyone came in with that, but I don't know. There's a lot of lore that I haven't explored, or had a chance to explore yet. Judge the enemy, you decide the fate of enemy soldiers captured in battle, or feeding the host, you found a way to feed Kairos' army in enemy territory. I'm going to do Judging the Enemy. The soldiers of the Tears fell by the hundreds, and Kairos' army could not agree on how to handle what few survivors they dragged back to camp. Befitting your role, the commanders turned to you to decide the fate of those who occupied prison pens. There were only enough prisoners to support the plan of a single army. Hey Liz, I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for being here. I'm playing Tyranny. It's an Obsidian RPG. we're doing the character selection in which, or the character creation rather, in which we go through the events of Conquest before playing the actual game. The disfavored needed slaves to haul their gear, dig latrines, and keep their pallets warm at night. Gross. You consign the survivors of battle to their subservient role among Graven Ash's noble troops. Or go with the Scarlet Chorus. You gave prisoners the chance to serve in Kairos' army or die. The Scarlet Chorus was in need of extra troops to fill up the vanguard, and your former enemies would occupy those slots nicely. I don't like the idea of slaves. This isn't much better, but also you're a bad guy in this, so I'm gonna go with serve or die. You armed cooperative ex-soldiers with scrap weapons and tossed them into the vanguard of the next Scarlet Chorus assault. Those who survived are welcome to take up the arms and armor of the fallen and eke out a desperate struggle to survive in Kairos' military. After their first victory, you awarded the new recruits with the opportunity to execute their wounded or reluctant countrymen. The armies of Kairos amassed around the bastard city, the first bastion of the Tears to fall. Both armies longed to storm the walled outpost, Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder and the disfavored forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both of the armies had inspired schemes to take the bastard city. Which do you support? You joined the disfavored, vanguard, in a direct assault upon the city gates. No fortification would stand before the unstoppable legion. Yeah, pretty much. You are evil in this game. You are working for the evil tyrant. That's why it's called what it is. So if I do this, I get Warrior's Respite, which lets me heal over time. Plus reduces damage for like 12 seconds. Join the Scarlet Chorus in setting fire to the city and blocking the gates. The defenders would surrender or burn. This I get Searing Palm, which is fire magic. Gather heated energy into your hands and release it onto a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. Or sabotage the city's defenses. You led a mixed band of disfavored and Scarlet Chorus scouts over the city walls to sabotage its defenses. They get Concealing Shadows. Create a cloud of obscuring shadows and dust for a short duration. Enemies that use physical attacks against you have a significantly increased chance to miss. During this time, your attacks will be less effective. I'm gonna go with this one. It was passing strange to barricade the very gates he sought to cross, but it all made sense when the fires began. The Scarlet Chorus sent a constant rain of flaming arrows over the wall of the bastard city. Plague that lasted throughout long days and tireless nights. By the end, the blaze was too much for the city defenders to contain. Citizens crowded at the gates, pleading to be freed from their smoldering city. You and your army were happy to oblige them. When the gates opened, they opened from inside. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tunon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Luthion's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Let's do... Let's do this. The troops of the mountain realm of Apex stood idle in the safety of their valley, biding their time as their neighbors in the bastard tier fell. In the second year of war, a joint force of the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountains to take control of the tier's central valley. The mountain nation of Apex, ruled for generations by the queens of House of Vendrian, stood at the heart of the tiers. No army could bypass the landlocked realm without leaving their flank exposed to attack. By the second year of the war, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus had pushed deep into the tiers. Elements of both armies were dispatched to conquer Apex. Tunon assigned you to accompany them, tasked with bringing Kairos' law to the territory, as well as keeping an eye on both armies. Battle of Ettering Pass, the Archon of Stone's assault was perhaps too successful. A new school of mages presented problems and opportunities. I like this one. A school of water mages loyal to the Tiersmen posed a substantial threat. The disfavored wished to annihilate the school, while the Scarlet Chorus insisted on capturing the mages, wishing to learn their craft. With the disfavored, all mages had a chance to surrender before the war, and trying to capture the enemy would lead to needless losses. Side of the Scarlet Chorus, ordering the mage elders taken alive for interrogation. We're going to go with the Scarlet Chorus again. Though countless lives were lost taking the mages into custody, the Scarlet Chorus praised your name as they dragged the beaten elders of the school to the voices of Narat's tent. As a wave of screams and incoherent pleas reached their crescendo, the Scarlet Chorus soldiers outside cheered for their Archon. The disfavored adjourned to their camp in grim silence, claiming the chorus lacked the will and desire to fully wipe out all traces of the enemy school. Let's see. Let's do Poisoning the Well. Hoping to break the siege, Scarlet Chorus agents poisoned the Apex water supply in secret. Days later, uninformed disfavored scouts died of illness. Outraged by the failure of communication, the disfavored demanded that the Chorus agents be turned over to them for punishment. You upheld the charges, ordering the Scarlet Chorus agents delivered to the disfavored. Justice would be served, but at the risk of seeding discontent between the two armies. You denied the complaint. Tragedies happen in war, and the act was not targeted with intent at the disfavored. The reality was more honest than the satisfaction. The disfavored so wanted. Let's go with this. Scarlet Chorus protested the sanctioning of a beloved military tradition. Within weeks of hauling wagons, filling graves, and digging latrines, the saboteurs fell sick themselves, dying of unattended wasting diseases likely picked up from moving putrid bodies. The disfavored called it a fitting justice and congratulated themselves for squeezing some honest labor out of the miserable wretches. After many spans of battle, the army of Apex finally agreed to peace talks. The Queen herself agreed to attend a negotiation summit and invited a representative of Tunon to discuss the possible terms. How did you negotiate the enemy's surrender? In the days of meditation, you negotiated the surrender of the Valerie to Kairos' forces, putting an end to further bloodshed, or taunting the Queen of Apex into striking you under the banner of truce. You baited the Queen of Apex into a duel and slew her, frightening her vassals into submission. We'll go with ending further bloodshed for now. Your former enemies were loath to part with their lands, but they were even more reluctant to continue a war they were losing at every turn. The Tiersmen are a stubborn lot, and despite their grim situation, it still took days of discussion and diplomacy to show them the madness of tenacity. On the third day of mediation, the rulers of Apex finally submitted to your terms of surrender, putting an end to the war in the valley, and freeing up Kairos' forces to march deeper into the tiers. So where are we off to now? The land of Apex finally rested in the hands of Kairos' forces. Scarlet Chorus paused to revel in victory, while the disfavored prepared for the next fight, affording themselves but an evening's rest. Kairos' armies radiated out from the conquered citadel and worked their way across the tiers. Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus aimed to dominate as much territory as possible. In the coming year, your distinguished reputation in Kairos' military left the choice of your next destination yours to make. Stalwart. Golem Citadel. Sure. Last time I did this one, and it led to burning the library, which I felt bad about, but, you know, evil. This time I'm gonna go with the place that looks like farmland and hopes to save the farmland so that there's food. Nation of Azure, once the richest settlement of the Tiers, sat on a verdant, fertile plain. As the disfavored clashed with Azure's defenders, the Scarlet Chorus contended against the region's tribal beastmen, protected their ancestral lands with incredible fury. Great. Now I get to be racist. Kairos dispatched the Archon Cairn to break the stalemate and force Azure into submission. The colossal man of stone and flesh arrived as instructed, but earning his cooperation was a tall order, even for you. Cairn's tactics left the army tightening their belt? No. After a roaming pack of beastmen slaughtered a disfavored patrol, the Scarlet Chorus responded by laying claim to the beasts for their army, while the disfavored readied a company to enact vengeance. The disfavored legion considered the beasts beyond taming, and the butchers of their northern brethren needed to be brought to justice. Yeah, we're gonna let them capture the beast then. The disfavored needed to temper their rage and consider the wider concerns. Kairos' forces were far from home and needed all the help they could get. You joined the chorus in rounding up the beasts, and though the pack leader escaped, the rest were quickly subdued thanks to your aid. The voices of Narat mocked the disfavored's displeasure from afar. Well, I cannot speak. Suggesting that any of them were free to join his army if they felt they lacked the training. Ooh, let's go with this one. A wounded Scarlet Chorus soldier claimed her gang was mauled by beastmen loyal to the Archon of Stone. But Cairn could not be found. The Scarlet Chorus sought to capture the tribe. The disfavored insisted the account was slander. The Archon was loyal to Kairos, and would never lend his strength to savages. I like intelligence. Let's do this. Despite the vocal claims of defamation, you allowed the Scarlet Chorus to flood the plains of Azure and seek out the offending Beastman tribe. They returned with a score of captive Beastmen who were brought before Chorus interrogators. Those who talked knew nothing of Cairn, but those who held back showed a particular disdain for Kairos' army, as if there existed a preconceived hatred. The unconfirmed possibility of Cairn's treason sent a ripple of unease through the Scarlet Chorus camp. The Archon of Stone made brazen declarations that Kairos had no claim to rule the Tiers. Soon after word arrived that Kairos would dispatch this rebellion minion with an edict. Though edicts are Kairos' most powerful magic, is that of the edict, commandments which cast upon the whole regions that can control and destroy man and nature alike. Once cast, an edict can rain fire, wither crops, demoralize cities, usher in endless night, or do whatever it is that Kairos envisioned. No known force, magical or mundane, can stop an edict, though each edict is often worded to include some condition or contingency that will see its end. Some edicts have been short-lived, delivering days of wanton catastrophe, just as many have lingered for centuries. Having shown a stern hand against the disfavored in the past, Tunon deemed it proper that you deliver punishment. Tunon selected for you the honor of proclaiming Kairos' Edict of Stone, a magical spell with the power to destroy the Archon. As he sensed his approaching doom, Cairn began an assault on Plainsgate, the largest human settlement of the area. It fell to you to send Kairos' forces into a suicide mission to halt Cairn's destruction while you completed the proclamation of the edict. Knowing there was little chance of survival, you ordered the disfavored to march against the Archon of Stone as he neared the city of Plainsgate. You hoped that the elite of Kairos' armies would delay Cairn long enough for you to read the Overlord's edict. Believing there was a slight chance their superior numbers could hold off the Archon of Stone, You sent the Scarlet Chorus to delay Cairn's march on Plainsgate. You hoped you would have enough time to read Kairos' edict before Cairn reached the city. You believed the only chance of slowing Cairn's assault was to commit the full force of Kairos' army against him. It was a desperate gamble. If you were wrong, there would be no one left alive to warn the other Archons of your failure. Still, you ordered both Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus forces to march against the Archon of Stone while you read the Overlord's edict. We're going to go with the Disfavored, because that'll make them happy, and it's also probably going to do the best. The Disfavored approached the battle with hard hearts and grim expressions, pondering the futility of their goal. They fought and died defending Plainsgate, which, in spite of their efforts, suffered extensive damage. Cairn dismantled their phalanx like a row of toy soldiers as you read the final line of Kairos' destructive spell. A chasm opened under the battlefield, swallowing the Disfavored and redrawing the portions of the once verdant landscape. The earth heaved open to take Cairn. The Archon allowed it with serene acceptance. The lands blighted and unrecognizable, the realm of Azure was left totally ruined by the events of the war. In times to come, the Tears would call this blasted region the Stone Sea, where the treacherous rock formations and persistent quakes became the defining features of this once verdant land. The Scarlet Chorus established a sprawling camp in the shattered rocky terrain, and quickly absorbed those displaced by the upheaval of the land. Those hapless refugees were put to work as slaves and soldiers, and the Chorus slowly built themselves a makeshift fortress in the blighted, quake-ridden realm. The blighted, quake-ridden realm. Your tour of duty in the broken lands of Azure was complete. You didn't have long to rest before Tunon called upon your service once more. Alright. Now it's time for video game.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the Tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the Tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the Tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
Let me do that real quick, actually. Option. Reels.
Will do.
Kairos the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feel the valley was sealed with you on the other side. A disfavored warrior claps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional salute of her legion. We were told that a Fatebinder was coming, and through our commanders, and though our commanders will not say why, it seems obvious. Graven Ash and the voices of Narat can agree on nothing, least of all battle plans to wipe out the Oathbreakers. I trust you bring orders from Tunon that will break this deadlock. Let's see. I'm in a hurry. Travel a long way, I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... Voice falls silent. Our attention snapping eastward with the line. You hear that? More runners. Third time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. Points over to the collapsed path by which you arrived. They're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. Combat. So this is an Obsidian game, so I can pause it whenever I want. Looks like in general I've got a pretty limited range on my magic right now. Yeah, I get zapped. How's this one? Dead. Dead AF. Could be vigilant and deal with the remaining Oathbreakers in the pass. And you hope to accomplish. From what we've learned from the other prisoners, the runners are instructed to escape the valley and drum up support for the Oathbreakers' cause elsewhere in the tiers. Aurora shrugs. I don't know who they think will listen to their pleas. We've smashed every army, fortress, and self-proclaimed ruler in these low-born tiersmen have to offer. Perhaps they think the wild beasts will rally to their side. This favored victory has soaked the tiers with fear. I doubt anyone would rally to their hopeless cause. This favored gained very minor favor. Perhaps if you had more thoroughly destroyed these tiersmen, we wouldn't be having this current problem. Gain minor wrath. Should I be an asshole? Let's be an asshole. Perhaps if you had more thoroughly destroyed these tiersmen, we wouldn't be having the current problem. Well, perhaps we'd have put all these fools to the axe, but some Fatebinder got the addled notion of convincing the locals to surrender, and look where we are now. She shakes her head, holding back a chuckle. Of course, Graven Ash and his inner circle were all suggesting peace talks back in the day. Suppose hindsight makes a fool of us all. Carry on. I don't have the athletics to do anything but squeeze through the gap. Which puts me in a rough spot. So let's set this dude on fire.
Will do.
Of course, she just runs away.
Will do.
And then freeze him also. And then also do this. Zap. And get him with a thrust. Oh, okay. Hit. Not her. Let's be careful here. Let's go with the freeze on this dude.
Aye.
And then give him a good zap. And just keep auto attacking, I guess, until he's dead. There we go.
light him on fire. Her? Her on fire. Damn.
Aye.
Broken armor. Heavy. That's a javelin. You there. Bother with me, go down the pass, Drastus. Soldier clutches his gut and winces. You see a hint of entrails between his fingers. You're wounded, and it's not trivial. This? What a scratch. Seen twice as worse 10 times over. Let me help you. Said I'm fine. Graven Ash protects. Go on, help the others. Okay. Bye, I guess. Mushroom. Several skulls, bleached by the sun and picked clean by carrion birds, are spiked on a roughly hewn post of it.
Try and catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fury weaves around the Vendrian Guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countrymen. This one's crazy. Too much lead in her water. Should cut our losses and turn back.
Ha! Fate Finder. Here at last. Care to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery?
She nods to the armed soldiers bearing down on her. Save something for me. For the realm of Apex, charge! The Vendrian guards level their weapons in advance. I'm gonna let her take care of them, and I'm gonna focus on Javelin Boy over here. You start by setting you on
I'm not
fucking
here
fire.
to make friends.
You're good. Now let's zap this
Will
one.
do.
And then also freeze it. Yeah. Combat. Why did you wait so long to start casting?
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
Fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
I'm Verse, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian Guard we killed didn't come alone.
She gestures to the skirmish unfolding in the pass below, shaking her head.
If you don't recognize me, it's probably because I'm not covered in Beastman blood. You did me a good turn back in Azure, and I never forget a friend.
You fight like a storm. What's your role in the
Scarlet
army?
Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang. You'll see more than a few of us around camp, but don't let that fool you. We're a rare breed. Most of the soldiers in the Scarlet Chorus are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control. The voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what. The Archon isn't in the habit of spilling secrets.
Well, let's join the battle.
Eager! I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
Rings are money. I see your point.
No
Nice and
reason to pity
practical.
the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes. For the
Yeehaw.
voices of Nerat!
It's loot. I want this because it's light armor. I also want this. And I want this. Hi, Chew. It's just money I can sell. That's for healing code. I'll take that also. Alright. Oh yeah, this is actual armor. Ooh. Okay. No rogue sluggers. Want this instead? No, I don't. You can have this. Yeah, look at that. That's sick. You. This will be better on you. That looks weird as hell. You don't have a helmet, so I'll give you this hood. What's this? I don't know why I start with these. Not really good for me. Drop this in here. Here. Suppose I could build her towards being tanky? No. Okay. Or wait, do I need to go? Which way do I need to go? I need to go down here. Eyes forward, no looking back. The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his falx held high, his words largely lost over the din of combat. Falx is an enduring symbol of military life in the tiers. Adapted from the agrarian sides of Azure, this curved blade was, in ages past, the weapon of peasants forced into battle. In the last century, the nobles of Apex took a liking to the weapon, and has since become the weapon all serious Vendrian Guard warriors endeavor to master. You. His attention lands on you, a double take of recognition comes over the man's face. The Peacebinder from the war. If you've come once again to talk peace, it seems you're too late. Drop your weapon and perhaps we can settle this without bloodshed. We knew that violating the surrender meant an end to what little mercy the goodwill Kairos' forces have or ever will show us. Now there's no turning back. He shakes his head with a frown. I know you tried to do right by us in the past, but now you're between us and the way out. Nothing personal. Hatebinder, did I hear that correctly? Maybe you misunderstand why we're here. As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention. Scarlet Chorus reinforcements, hurry! Mocking blaze. Run down the Oathbreakers, let none escape! From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, its ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones. Signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Hold position, all of you! You there, keep to the path! The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No, don't engage them, we need to run! His orders falling on deaf ears, the warrior reluctantly readies his weapons. Alright. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Okay, so we're gonna start with a bit of fire for our friend here. Do it. Do the fire on him. There you go.
We'll have your head.
Let them.
Right.
Zap!
Pity you won't enjoy this as much
Oh, that
as
was
I
cool.
do.
Can't do that.
Let's get a zap on her.
I got it.
Here. Come quick, we have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. Broken armor. Bronze Felks. Yeah. Let's see. That. Come on, verse. Let's go. You have heavy boots. Agate. Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Skewer him. Worry not for me. Gravian Ash will protect. The disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his bracers and cuirass. You heard the man? He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? Wow. This blade. With a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastus's matted hair. You're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. I'm Meryl, my name should be known to you. And it should be an honorable one. Please give me the knife. We have to help Drastus. You heard Drastus, let him die. Let's do this one. You're Tunan's envoy. You're Tunan's envoy? He watches you closely for a long moment until his posture slackens and he lowers the knife. If you will vouch for my safety, then I'll... The sentence is halted by a spear thrust into his lung. Leaping forward the moment Tyrell lowers his blade, the disfavored soldiers slaughter the Oathbreaker. Dazed but alive, Drastus lets out a long sigh and struggles to his feet. I'll say nothing, because I would have wanted to kill him anyway. Kairos be praised! That Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Cairn himself. Drastus slides a trembling hand along the cut on his neck. Thank you, Fatebinder. Thought today was my last. From the look of it, I guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, maybe one might make it out. We found a few scraps of parchment on the bodies. Drastus holds out a handful of crumpled parchments for your inspection. A student of letters such as yourself should be able to make sense of this. Examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchment explains the Vendrian Guard's desire to overthrow Kairos' Archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the Younger Realms to gather at Vendrian's Well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traders to the fight. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Where am I going with this voice? Whatever they hope to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting you. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southeast. Follow the trail down slope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires leagues away. Can't miss it. Wait. Yeah. Give me your things. Haste. Yes, I want the. Thank you. Water. Bronze belts. Oh, hi. Put this on. Now I have haste. Oh yeah, this. Learn. Now I've learned new magic. Magic. Here it is. Horrors. Fire, sigil of lightning, fire. What is this? Focused intense, distant impact. Airball. Look at that. I learned magic. Let's assign that here. Then Jolt. Area of effect. Ooh. Rhyme spike. Frozen affliction for 4.2 seconds, base 4 seconds, radius 1 meter. Massive frozen spike of ice on the ground under the target's feet, impaling and freezing them. Yes, please, give me that right there. Good. Electrocute the target with a huge bolt of entwining lightning, dealing shock damage and stunning them. This basically just gives me all of the same... Oh, wait. What does this do? Increases the range of spells. Oh, okay. Cool. Yes. Let me do that again with... Here. Yeah. And this one. Long range. Here. Fine. Yeah. Yes. Cool. Yeah. Blast. Oh, ooh. Goes around for you. There we go.
On it.
Oh wait, I don't think I saved it. Blacks. Yellow. Oh, other way around. Black, primary yellow. Wait. I thought. Prisoner says his name is Tarkus Stamos. Drastus lets out a long sigh, tapping his gauntleted finger to his temple. I don't think this is a complicated matter. He dies. His family's been a driving force in the Venging Guard. Killing him should demoralize whatever's left of the Tarkus clan. All must be given a chance to find absolution and service to the Scarlet Chorus. The mage points the finger at the disfavored officer. And you know full well this has always been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. So right now I've got 19% into Tier 1 favor for the disfavored and 6% into Tier 1 wrath. And with Scarlet Chorus, 0% into Tier 1 favor and 6% into Tier 1 wrath. Let you take prisoners, but you can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrol and they never return. Defecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. Well, I insist that the Oathbreaker be taken to the voices of Narat, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have a Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. The chanter turns to you, an expectant smile creeping across her face. So, what say you? What should become of this prisoner? Last I was here, the chorus was more than willing to poison the locals with no offer of redemption. What changed? Yes, well, the chanter narrows her eyes, scowling as she contemplates her words. We are indeed guilty of being haphazard, and when we take pains to conscript, when we focus on getting the job done. But the fact remains, this warrior has use, hopefully as fighting stock, maybe as swine feed. Either way, killing him is a true waste. Execute. Hearsmen can't be trusted. Rakes, thieves, and whores, nothing more. We were far too merciful the first time. Drastus nods to a nearby warrior. Have this one tied up. He and his friend can watch each other rot in the sun. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. Drastus salutes you, his iron gauntlet rapping against his breastplate. For the glory of Kairos. Fatebinder, what an honor to have one of Tudon's court visit our humble holdfast. Need supplies? I can sell some of this junk. I want to sell that, or that, or that. I can sell these.
This and this. This. That. I'll hold on to Phalanx. Six rings? Oh, 5 and 80. What am I wearing? Let me see. That's right here. Lesser Staff of Storm's Heart. Satan's this too. Rush. Huh. Oh, okay, that's the elf magic shit. The Lightning Core, I have that. Lesser Sigil of Limitless Boundaries. Increases area of a spell effect. Duration. Let's get both of these, because they're basically free for what we're trading in. I want to learn more spell shit. So let's see. So this will 14 to 24 or 14 to 22 fire. First dodge, range 10 meters. Area of effect 3 meters. Oh, it requires 65 lore. Okay. I might take this off. 55. Okay. We'll wait until we level up a little bit more, and then I should be able to equip that. What's this? Aurora. Well, let's go talk to Aurora. That's where we leave, okay. Fadebinder, we are honored by your presence. Need something? Oh. I can't get up there. Oh, that's right, there's something special up there, but I can't get it because I'm not very good at athleticism. I believe he said southeast, right? Is it the gate that they came in here? Must be. Yep, here we go. You there, muttered through a mouth full of congealed blood. Tarkus Thamos thanks for mistake. And this I beg you, that you make a better warning to others while you're still twitching. Lol. I'm evil. Evil! Hey. Tonight's gonna be pretty short, probably. Take what you can carry, but leave the cart, otherwise we seize you and your wares. Hail, Fatebinder. The disfavored scout nods at your approach. Camp's on up ahead. Don't mind us, just clearing out the rabble. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. I respect that these are now disfavored lands. I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll. But she's going on about trading rates. What nonsense is that? I am not allowed to trade one thing for another. It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort.
It's none of my concern. Carry on. Right, you are. We'll take care of this vulture. Slow down a moment. I know we're both eager to watch Archons becker over the tactics like a pair of magpies, but I need to ask you something first. What's that? The voices of Narat told me that you've come as a mediator. Considering the source, well, can't help but feel I'm only hearing half the story, so let's have it out. What's so special about you? Here to deliver an edict from Kairos. It makes a crazy kind of sense, considering how long the siege has taxed the armies. Can understand why Kairos would send you with an edict to speed things along. Have you read it? You know what it says? The Archons must claim Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all will perish. 26th of every month, or span, is Kairos' day. It's a day of holiday and rest for all within the Overlord's empire. Each Kairos' day is the last day of its span and is referred to as the span's name. Kairos' Day of Swords, therefore, is the 26th day of the Span of Swords. One more thing for the Archons to fight over. Well, thanks for cluing me in. If Kairos sends any lightning our way, just tell me when to duck. What else has the voices of Narat told you? Only that I could find you in Edring Ruins. Truthfully, I could have picked you out of a crowd. The only one who hasn't spent the last few months battling in the stink of the Mittani, or bathing in the stink of the Mittani River. She laughs, but there's a forced nature to it. I really ought to be meeting with the Archons. The war tent is just past the center of the camp. One last thing, be careful around these disfavored types. They take their work seriously and must have suffered too many blows to the head. Thanks.
Not happening.
Not happening. Well, look at you. Our gatecrasher from the court is still in one piece. Guard pounds his chest plate in salute. Welcome to disfavored camp. Always happy to have an honored ally pay us a visit. Now, Graven Ash protects. That he does. The warrior nods in approval, then taps twice on the gate to signal your arrival. Be well, Fatebinder. Glory to Kairos.
Right.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it.
Stay with me, please. Aye. Pentabore. Get quick. Going straight to the tent. This is gonna be fun, because they are a bunch of whiny bitches. Hello.
That's
Here I
4
am.
reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff on the ground to punctuate his words. That's me hitting my desk. I bet it sounds great. A large and imposing man to begin with, his profile is made larger still by his hulking suit of armor that hums with mystic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secrets passes a scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. You hear the voices in your head. Oh, hello there, Fatebinder. We'll be with you in just a moment. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. The glow is just most notable where his neck ought to be. His mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending naturally.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get going, you don't want to get between them.
Bruce whispers fearfully as she beholds the Archons. remain silent.
I always know you've run out of things to say when you resort to mocking my vassals. If we are to speak of treachery, why is it that my scouts see the Scarlet Chorus warriors defecting back to the Vendrian Guard? Your fearsome reputation has gone flaccid, for it seems you cannot control your soldiers, or perhaps you simply choose not to.
My lords, the Fatebinder has arrived. And his favorite commander raises her voice, trying with little success to speak over the Archons. Perhaps we could table this discussion and let our guests speak?
Speaking of strategic failures, who was it that insisted the valley would need only a token garrison? For some strange reason, we can't seem to recall which balding halfwit grossly underestimated the enemy. Thoughts?
Archon of Secrets twirls his scepter in a twisting loop. You hear the voices in your head. Can you hear us, Fatebinder? Cough if we have your attention. His leather-wrapped hands flipping the heavy rod with effortless flow when we remain
I
silent.
thought you had left agents within these Tearsmen when they surrendered. Either you failed to see this coming, or you knew and let it happen. Incompetent or in cahoots, either way, this mess has your filthy stink all over it.
The Archon of War lurches forward, resting his weight on his warm maul as blue luminescence crackles around his armor.
We look forward to seeing you explain to Tunon why the Archon of War could not close the vice on this trivial little insurgency. When we are crowned the ruler of the Tears, we shall have this place renamed to Ash's Folly in your honor.
The voices of Narat tosses his scepter into the air. Hello, Fatebinder. We know you can hear us. Now we know that you come. Now you know we know. Come on, these meetings with Ash are so boring. Cough if we have your attention. Catching it as it descends back down.
If I could trust the information I get from you and your conscripted mouth breathers, perhaps I'd order my cohorts around a bit more aggressively. But last time I trusted your all-clear report, my troops failed to come home.
Oh, Ash, old boy. If you're going to have a little sob every time one of your nieces or nephews dies to the Tearsmen, perhaps we should have Siren sing you some calming lullabies to help you cope with your grief.
Archon flips his scepter 3 times around. Treat yourself, Fatebinder, the more you ignore us. Humming gleefully. Hold your tongue. I will not have you denigrate the honor of our fallen brethren. Commander's hand moves to the hilt of her blade, though the weapon stays sheathed. I'd be doing us all a favor if I cracked open that excuse for a head. They bicker like children, do they not? The fifth eye's grating tenor pierces the tension in the tent, and all eyes land on the Crimson Spear. I meant only to say welcome to our guest, the Fatebinder. The armored retainer bows with rushed inelegance, then rises to a salute, and not a moment too soon.
Did I give you permission to speak?
The Archon of War turns to you, his blue eyes wide with anger. The many portraits you've seen depict Raven Ash with a stern, unamused countenance. He's even more taciturn in the flesh. Diplomat, bow and salute each Archon.
How wonderful you could join us, Quakebringer, Executioner of Cairn. You grace us with your presence. He's hoping you have another edict for bringing childish Archons to heel.
Major favor from both of them. Thanks.
My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your way through Edring. You honor the court with your selfless cooperation, for that is the sort of camaraderie that Kairos demands of us all.
On the last of his words, the Archon of War glares at the voices of Narat, furrowing his brow as he utters the word camaraderie. Are you all done bickering? I have an edict to proclaim.
My dear Binder, we won't be done bickering until the last of Ash's hair falls out. We'll pause for you to read your little missive. Go on, don't keep us all in suspense. Once again, you bring us support in a time of need. We fondly remember your service to the chorus in the taking of the bastard city. We knew back then you were destined for great things. But we had not anticipated you would be twice honored with the task of proclamation. So, do not keep us waiting. What is the Overlord's will?
Seems you need some encouragement to work together. In honor of your incompetence and disarray, the edict will execute every living thing in the valley, unless Ascension Hall is taken by Kairos' Day of Swords. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely phrased commandment. Bleh. Its every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountains, feel renewed. Tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigor.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mitanni. We lose everything if we stand still. And we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time. So we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through.
The Archon of War taps a finger against his temple. A low rumble escapes from under his beard.
So, you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? The baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
They call you the Archon of Secrets, but you certainly don't seem to know anything remotely useful.
I second the Fatebinder. Thought you had the memories of one of those Oathbreakers rattling about that bronze gourd of yours. Would Kairos' mighty spy master please enlighten this gathering of allies with some scrap of strategic insight?
The Archon of Secrets turns his head to the side until the face of his mask has turned around and a new facet of the mask presents itself facing forward. When next the Archon speaks, the booming voice of an older man can be heard.
Cowards! If I were still alive, I'd freeze the blood as it runs in your veins. You may take the river, but you'll pay for it with your lives.
The voices of Narat appears to be channeling the personality of Master Hagravar. Hagravar was one of the elders of the School of Tides, a southern school of water magi that fell to Kairos' forces in 429, during the initial attack on Vendrian's Well. By your order, the Tidecasters taken in battle were presented to the voices of Narat, so that their magic might be integrated into the Archon's ever-growing arsenal of knowledge. The Archon slaps his hand against his mask, rotating his mask until a new facet looks forward.
Our sources tell us the Oathbreakers had some sort of magical trick in store. But this knowledge is tinged with fear, trepidation. If we make a move for the Mitanni, we suspect the Oathbreakers will mount a counterattack that is equal parts valiant and futile.
Know that voice. Master Hagravar of the School of Tides.
Yes, and that old codger put up quite a fight on the way out. Almost turned himself into a puddle to escape our interrogations. He's not the last of the Tidecasters, though. At the time of his death, there was another. A woman named Ebb. We believe she is one of the mages assisting these Oathbreakers.
Our lives hang in the balance because of you two bicker like children. Now go, solve this problem you've started. My lord, Barrick and his band have been drilled on the Echo Call assault plan. The Crescent Runners should be briefing him as we speak regarding the latest enemy movements along the river. I will dispatch him at once. The Iron Marshal salutes, clapping her gauntlet to her breastplate. Though you know him only by name, Barrick is a commander of the Stone Shields and well regarded by the disfavored of High Command. And I will ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavored can take the river, chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunon's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
I won't let you down, boss. She'll get through the campaign in one piece, as long as she doesn't do anything too stupid.
The Archon twirls his scepter one last time. Suit yourself, Fatebinder, the more you ignore us. And taps the fifth eye on his shoulder, and the two depart.
Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Narot is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end. Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. Now, if you'll leave me be, I have a battle to plan. I imagine duty requires you speak with the chorus further, but if I can convince you to lend a hand, most of my legion is trapped beyond the mountains, so I'm in need of an added sword or two. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
Short a few scouts, short a few soldiers, short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren would be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. The Iron Marshal salutes Graven Ash, then turns to leave the tent. I will be at the training ground readying the soldiers. Find me there when you're ready. She pauses, clearing her throat. Though I am loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't secure the Outer Valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in that rat's nest they call a camp. Due east, seek him out if you must.
Ah, got it.
I'm stealing things. Hooray. Doesn't seem to mind.
I got it.
Okay.
Curious.
Curious. Oh, I leveled up my subterfuge. Never mind. Yep. All right. Let's see what the Iron Marshal has for us. Just coddle the impact, push back with your shield, take the momentum. Iron Marshal Arenos, field commander of the disfavored, pounds her fist in the air as she calls out to the warriors on the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat. As she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-pronged attack. No right to give you orders, but her words falter, a short cough breaks her flow. But we all die to Karos' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. It's the second major attack across the river, correct? What happened last time? Hi, Moggs. How was work? How's your bike? Feet in detail. We carved a bloody path up to the river, but at that point everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup, it was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost a whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long, pained sigh. We found bodies washing up in the river for days. It's not often the Tearsmen put up such a good fight. It certainly made us reevaluate the number we'll need to take this valley. Nice. Really? Are you sure your scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just chose to disregard our warnings? Our scouts. Sounds like a lack of caution is the blame, not the Scarlet Chorus. Lack of caution? My legion is my family. I do not play loosely with their lives. The only blame here is on the Oathbreakers. Is there intransigence? What the fuck is that word? Intransigence that created this conflict in the first place. There's no need to blame your teeth, at least. I can hear them grinding from over here. I will assist. And our plan just might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon the Adjudicator selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honor us all on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forgebound weren't sloshed on Dappleseed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Irenios signals the hulking presence. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. The soldier steps up to you and resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Barrack, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
I don't believe we've been acquainted.
It's challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true and the Chorus tries to impede the mission, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
It's just my luck that I'm assigned to one of Tunon's legal clerks. I'm sure you think the rules don't apply to you, but I'm counting on you working with me and my squad to stop these Oathbreakers.
Barrack, you've been without a cohort since the last battle of Stalwart. Time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? That's an order, Barrack. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. Can be stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. Honored to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. Excellent. I look forward to your success in the field. I have Barrick.
Fatebinder, you look like you need to talk. What can I do for you?
Nothing. I don't want to talk. Oh hey, I learned a new combo ability with her. You have Iron Sword. Your skills. Handed weapons. One-handed weapons. You slightly better with two-handed. You have a two-handed weapon I can give you. This does more DPS and accuracy, so you're gonna equip that. Can't change any of his armor, like gives to him.
I got it.
Let's go. Nice. You in front. There. Oh. You both in front, me in the back. Let's just do. Scarlet Chorus Camp.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
A woman's voice booms from atop the nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. Flanked on either side by warriors dressed in Vendrian Guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabrics rests draped over her arm.
Did the voices of Nurat send you to gather my head and complete his collection? If so, we'll have to save our tussle for another time. Today I have business. Vengeance can wait.
Gain very major fear. Oh, she's like super scared of me. You recognize this woman as Tidecaster Ebb, whom you met along with the other Tidecaster in the year 429 TR. During the first campaign in Vendrian's Well. Meeting under a blue flag, you spoke primarily with the elders of the School of Tides to negotiate their surrender to Kairos. Several of the masters were moved by your words and surrendered, but many left the meeting unwilling to bend. Ebb was among them.
You may have consigned my school to a fate worse than death, but you've done well by the Vendrian Guard. Many of them are alive today thanks to the truce you forged years back. They seem to think you have a trace of nobility in you. Here's hoping they're right.
Loyalty?
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
Woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, nerves clearly on edge. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truce.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
Tarkus is dead.
I see. That is as I feared, but thank you for telling me all the same. I prefer closure to wishful thinking. If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Though you rarely have the luxury of matching names to the countless Tearsmen you've encountered, you're reasonably certain she's asking about the Venturian Guard warrior that took Drastus hostage at Edring Ruins. He did not survive the encounter. Not slowly, saying nothing for a long moment.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
Sorry you did not find what you
Then
were
all
seeking.
that remains is for me to thank you for hearing me out. In accordance with our ancient customs north and south, let us part with peaceful accord.
She bows curtly, never letting her eyes leave yours. Before turning to leave a moment later, the bodyguards turn to follow. Missive from Tunan. Meryl, word has reached this court that you have issued the Overlord's edict to the Archons of War and Secrets. Know that we understand fully the weight of this burden and appreciate the loyalty you show in its declaration. Provided you survive this span, your service will be duly recognized. As you navigate the idiosyncrasies and mutual antipathy of our Overlord's War Masters, remember that Kairos watches all with interest. Those who distinguish themselves, whether Fatebinder or Archon, have the ability to rise in the Overlord's esteem. Even now, the northern courts whisper that more successful of the two Archons will be granted rule over the whole of the peninsula. Similarly, your fortunes rest upon the decisions you make. Choose wisely. Tunan the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. Thank him for the advice. Archon Tunan, allow me to express my deep appreciation for this opportunity. You and the Empire have the honor of treating with Archons, and fewer still have reading the empowered words of the Overlord. I endeavor always to emulate your exemplary foresight and judgment. I remain in all things your faithful servant, Fatebinder Meryl. Missive in transit. Alright, let's fuck off.
What do we have here?
What do we have here? What? Ooh. Some chaw. I don't know what that means. Oh. I guess I should have guessed that this would be Meryl's reading time, but you know. Guard places her hands by your belt as you approach, gripping the hilt of the blade. Past this point is Chorus territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? I'm always in the right place. Walking hunk of rust. What's he, she, maybe it doing here? You dope, this is the Fatebinder. She's been with us since the Gates of Judgment. Fucking new fish. Start learning the names and faces or find work as someone's moving target. The guard shakes her head, blushing with embarrassment. I'm terribly sorry. Now please, come right in. Well, eat shit. Dummy. This. Ooh, Sigil of Illusion. Illusion. False pit. Oh, I love this. Conjure the illusion of an endless black pit below the target, convincing them that they are falling to their death. The enemy is left prone until they can make sense of the illusion. Make it last a little bit longer? Bigger area? No. Damn. Range. Nope. Last longer though. That'll work. Sign. Let's overwrite. Yeah, it's overwrite. Binder of Tunon arrives. Squealing with teenager's timber, the fifth eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. We just finished having a bit of spot. I'm not gonna do that. But worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the fifth eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. Not here to follow your every order, but we all need to work together to stop this edict. But of course, you are Tunon's concubine, not mine. I envy your long leash and hope you will grace us with your prowess, only to set an example for the rabble. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. Fifth Eye wags his hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given the pattern of attacks, they must have second group maintaining camp in the Ada Valley. And unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack us from behind the moment we cross the river. I gotta watch fucking Dark Crystal again. That's a good movie. You have how large a force, and for all these weeks you've let the enemy move freely throughout the valley? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maturity, but do not insinuate I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. Crimson Spear clasps his fists together. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large despite our best efforts. Captain Pellex's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. The disfavored think you can't control your horde and that many are defecting back to the Vendrian Guard. Wrong, and perhaps, he gestures with his spear in an arc toward the sprawling camp, it is no mean feat to herd this many desperate lives. For every 2 hands of humanity, there is at least one finger that snaps from the stress of our ways. Few have been lost on the margins, I won't deny that, but if you store grain, expect some rat feces. If you lead killers, expect some desertion. You need help making out the mayor. You need help taking out these Oathbreakers. And while a good old-fashioned slaughter will be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to Oz. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners. Nice. I've never had rice pudding. How is it? My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners. One of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrian Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Variac Hell. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try to take their captain. I will speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She is waiting by the other prisoners. Yeah, clove itself can be pretty overpowering. I don't know so much about nutmeg, but, you know. Please, someone, I wish to bow before the voices of Marat. I thought all I could find redemption in the chorus. The woman in the makeshift armor in the Vendrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she'd been forced to stand for days. This one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment, but she hasn't been entirely honest. Sorry, I'm eating Reese's Pieces. Bad time, I know. I told this thing. Prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face. That I wanted a guarantee I'd live and I'd be welcomed into the chorus as a captain. Then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. You claimed that you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why a change of heart? Yeah, that'll do it. Because I want to live, and you don't need the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinked several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the Tears, and I would rather stand with the Archons than be crushed by them. Why should I trust the words of an Oathbreaker? Suppose I have no answer for that. Varaya's eyes fall to the ground as she swallows nervously. When I joined the Vendrian Guard, I accepted their broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause? When you later came to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Nerat to prove it. Tell me what you know, and I can see to your release. I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Pelix Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at skewered, smoldering corpses around her. She tugs her restraints, but to no avail. You're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know, and I'll see about saving you. Well, you see... Shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you... She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall, dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. There was a literate one in our crew. He had the orders. Or he was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of choirmen yank the boot off the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into the Fifth Eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense, just a smash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information, she gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. Remain silent. Make the cut shallow. Give her time to regret toying with me. The Scarlet Fury slices open Varaya's neck. Pinned to her final resting post, the Vendrian Guard soldier thrashes and flails for several long moments before bowing her head in death. No closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position. Not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers, and all she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
The voice comes from another prisoner, tied up next to Varaya. An older gentleman with the quills, ink vials, and parchment scrolls one finds in the sages of school as inking pill. Ink smudges covered his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of fabric, you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Can you read this?
Well, let me see. I can't.
You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words a second time, nodding in silence.
So, I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
A few hours, either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict? I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. The voices of Nerat will be upset to know you squandered a source of enemy intelligence. How true. Then we shan't put him to waste. He will serve as a most riveting source of amusement as we put him on trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Fine, but I'll be his champion. This one needs to live.
Good. I like it when Tunon's puppies get their paws dirty.
I wouldn't mind taking a swing at some loudmouth chorus braggarts myself.
Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? Raising his arms to the sky, the fifth eye roars for all nearby to hear. Trial by combat is upon us! The sage is unbound from the post, stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk. His arms flex and flail in their new freedom. Wiping sweat and grime from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile. Rhythmic roaring and the stomping of 100 feet in unison flood the camp. Oarsmen begin to circle and swing about, brandishing weapons and cheering. If they got this worked up to fight the enemy, I venture the war would be over by now. Begin the chant of gathering! Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence! Brothers and sisters, who amongst you sets the standards for strength? Who amongst you will help winnow the weak from the strong? The fifth eye waves his hand in the air, drawing in a gathering of chorus soldiers. Our claimants have been assembled. Now let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin! Alright. Slash, check slash. Ranged. Okay. You. What can you do? Touch. I'm gonna have you touch him. You. Breaking iron. Iron tolling. Dash of iron. You're gonna start with that because you're the tank. You, I want you to run in. No, I want you to death from above. This one, right? No, burning iron. This one instead. That's what we're. I cancel that. Other thing I can do. And hopefully that's what she does. Is there a way to cancel actions? I want to cancel this. Then for me, we're gonna false pit this one.
To battle!
They're on the ground. Ursa is in there. We're gonna have you Searing Palm this one. I want to take her out as quickly as possible. And I'll have you use Striking Iron on him. You. I'll have you Quill Strike this one. And then I want you to let's see. Fireball this one.
You got it.
No! Crap! My nose! My nose! No!
Oh crap, my notes, my notes.
Got them in my sight.
Zap this one. Okay, you need you to heal yourself. It's goddamn, dude. You to rush in on this one. Right? You rush in on this one. There we go. You. You were this one.
As you command.
They never had it.
There we go. We did it! Hooray! By the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. The fifth eye offers a short, mocking bow to Lantry. By the custom set forth by the voices of the rat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell afoul of the chorus, yet live to tell the story. That was fun. Now we see if the old man was worth the effort. Gracious Fatebinder! Sage holds his hand up, cowering backwards. I am humbled that you would put yourself at risk for me. I assure you, you have my full obedience and cooperation. Thought I'd die tied to that post. The sage looks down at his rope-worn wrists in disbelief. Now hand me that parchment and I'm certain I can decipher it. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I can make out the important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Tripnettle. Ah, so the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get this Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of the chorus gang, but perhaps we will parley if yours is the face they see. I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. Eager to be far from the stench of this camp. Slow down, introductions might be in order. My apologies, I guess we skipped past that part. I'm Sage Lantry, formerly of Velen Citadel and now of, well, nowhere, I guess. The alternative is what? Leaving here with this illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire. There's no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. I'd be a fool to let someone else write your story. Something's amiss. There's a lot of fight in you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition. I've met sages every bit as cutthroat as hardened gang bosses. They act the part of doddering scribes, but don't let that fool you. Smart with someone of your age to be so mistrusting. I am not with the Oathbreakers, if that's what you're fishing at. I worked for them under duress, but I've no love for them. I'm not about to pledge to the chorus, and the disfavored wouldn't have me. Still, I consider myself a Kairos-fearing vassal to the Overlord's empire all the same. For as long as I've been a sage, I've been trained to defend myself. We won't spend all our time binding books and sketching wildlife. Just most of it. For centuries, we've been in a quiet war with the School of Tides and the School of Wild Wrath. Can't travel alone as much as I do and not know the Bronze Dance. So you won't be a parchment weight during the fight. Good to know. Oh no. I'd like to think I'm worth at least 3 or 4 angry peasants in a fight. Fine, if you're so eager, come with me. Splendid, you won't be disappointed. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way and let me know if I can be of a service. Are we done here? Let's hightail it to Tripnettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. Alright. Formation. Formation? Here we go. Let's be pals back here.
I got it.
On the back line. Whee! It's felt so... I don't know. It feels so much later than fucking 9 o'clock, dude. It's ridiculous. Tripnettle Wilderness. 7 hours and 45 minutes. More Echo Call Crossing. Yeah, let's go here. As you make your way along one of the wide dirt roads that winds through the forest of Old Apex, the mountains loom above you on every side, and only the mountain spire, jutting skyward from the center of the Broken Realm, provides a consistent landmark by which to navigate. Cresting a hill, you make out a flash of light on bronze through the trees, accompanied by the movement of several individuals. That much bronze, you realize, must indicate a group of Oathbreakers. They seem to be just around the next bend in the road. Attempt subterfuge. Approach quietly. Keeping low and using the thick foliage as cover, you move carefully through the underbrush, marking the concave bend in the road. The far side of the bend slowly resolves in your view, revealing not one patrol of warriors, but two. Apex heraldry and heavy bronze scale marks the first group as members of the Vendrian Guard. The other warriors, however, wear rings of bronze set in heavy cured leather, a sigil on their tabards styled in the likeness of the Bane. You've heard that a group of brutal mercenaries out in the Haven adopt a similar heraldry. Eye on them. Moving with extreme care, you close to within listening distance of the two groups. As you eavesdrop on them, it becomes immediately clear that the Vendrian Guard hope to recruit the mercenaries, explaining to them under no uncertain terms that if the citadel of Vendrian Wall falls, Kyrus' edict will slay every Tearsman confined within the valley. Such is the way of the Overlord, the Oathbreaker tells the mercenary. His troops die or we all die. There's no middle road, no parley, and no quarter. Expose the lie. You step forward, revealing yourself from the brush, sending the Tearsmen scrambling to ready a bristling bronze wall of spears, swords, and shields. You point at the guardsman, calling out his self-serving lie. The mercenaries have little to gain from working with the Vendrian Guard, and everything to lose. The Edict of Execution shall slay all those in the valley if the citadel does not fall to Kyrus' forces. You should know, you tell them. The edict was issued by your lips. As the Vendrian guardsmen howl for your head and advance on you with weapons drawn, the mercenaries holster their arms and withdraw into the woods. Alright, what do we have here? Berserker Raider. Healing throw. Ranged. Healing. Okay. I need you. Fire burning iron upon that person. I need you. To quill strike this person because they're the only one in range. Need you. Target them with that. You launch a fireball. Pulse pits. Oh. Okay, fireball. Oh, these are the mercenaries, so they're leaving. I don't need them. Do it here. I should.
Sorry, I can't.
Nope.
Worm.
Okay. Let's try that fireball again. Okay, let's have you zap this one. I want you to heal yourself. You break off this one.
Consider it done.
Move out of the way. Rooted. Okay, so he's probably gonna drop. Great. I'm gonna use lesser healing potion. Use that. You. Fireball here. You. Okay, you got their attention, so you can do whatever. You. Get this one off.
Can't do that.
I can't.
Satan's touch. Just right here.
I'll take care of it.
really forces me to target, huh?
Take that!
Why are you throwing a javelin?
I'd have it no other way.
Walk up
You
there.
learn something every day.
Right. I need to do something with Ironfree. He's getting ass kicked. Non-stop. Let's see. The talent point. Here's 3 for any of those. We'll put something in magic. Is the spell breached affliction with thrust attacks? Also experience a bonus in magic skills. Short time after using thrust. And let's do that. And we'll do their own. Just holding a helm and you're not gonna wear it? I didn't. Stop. Get him in the right colors. Go. Save. Keep boots. Okay. Fuck. Okay. I need to get rid of this. This back. Being a dipshit. Oh, actually, you can use this. Man. Yeah, get that spear.
I got it.
Alright, let's adjust this formation back now. Seems to make the most sense. Keep them out of harm's way. Off hats. And go. Oops. Some more feet. You. Why? Aha! You can wear these. No? 11 viewers. Where did everybody come from? Who's even here? Who's watching me be boring play this game? These. Oops.
On it. I got it.
On it. Reinforcements, finally! Come this way, we need to... Arthur pumps the tattooed arm and salute. Maybe through the gesture, looks of confusion dawns across his painted face. Sister Verse, what did I do to deserve such a helping hand? A chuckle escapes the man before he shudders. Placing a hand over his mouth, at once alerted of the need to remain quiet, and his voice drops to a harsh whisper. The Fifth Eye has a sense of humor, sending you. Verse returns a cold glare, but says nothing. You two know each other? This one used to run my pack until he left for Death Knell's gang. Motherless swine didn't even have the guts to fight me for the right to leave. He just packed up and left with his coward's tail between his fat legs. And wise move at that. How many have you lost under your command so far? He holds up his hand, stifling a smile. I misspoke. I'm sure you only got most of them killed. Can't rule out death by their own incompetence. Seems Death Knell didn't take my advice and have you gelded to curb your outbursts. First draws her blades in a fluid motion. If you want to fight him, I've got your back, but we do have a mission here. Another time then, fake limp. Get comfortable with the idea of a knife in your belly. It'll come from me as likely as not. Her sniffs and returns her weapons to her belt. Just tugging your chain for old time's sake. You were always happier when you had a nemesis out in the world, eh? The camp is just yonder, he points to the northeast. And we've kept an eye on them for the last couple days. Some of them left a few hours ago looking for food, maybe out on patrol. They haven't returned yet. Might be wise to strike now while they're divided. Leave the Oathbreakers to me. My gang and I will lurk nearby. When you make your move, we'll descend and help you with capturing Florian. Don't worry, I'll let the others know you did the heavy lifting. I'll cheat at battle, but not with my reputation. Box.
You see that?
A box with stuff. Bronze X. Cool. Supplies and lesser healing. Another box. Ooh. With a good staff for Meryl. How does it handle, like... Oh, okay. Anyway. Weapon. That. Okay, and then you have Quill Knight. For this. 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 I'll just leave him with that. You. Yeah, there we go. Have that. You. Red River's Death Seeker. Let's see. Wow. A whole lot would be better for her right now, so we'll keep her with that. Okay. Let's move forward in formation, please. Start with that. And battle has begun. Oh, that's sick. That was fucking dope. Okay. Flash Iron. Need to draw aggro. What is this? Oh, he's wounded. Clear on rest. Okay. Maybe we can rest after this. You. Fireball, that should hit both.
Ain't that odd?
There we go.
I'm
You.
not dead yet.
I will aid you.
Andrew,
Consider it done.
be careful.
That is beneath me.
That? No. It's first. Ooh. Okay then. Obliterated. How do I rest? Yeah. Minimap. Roadmap. Options. Gold. This Diablo style. How do I rest? Oh. They'll toggle.
Aye.
Ow. Let's wait here and they'll let damage from the trap is healed. I don't think we're really on like a proper timer.
I'll be your shadow.
I think it's more like a, you know, rest before using this. How do I rest? Oh, here it is. Not camp with enemies in sight. That makes sense. Let's start with a stealthy
got it.
fireball on this one. You.
Don't know about you, but I feel like fighting.
Yeah, you feel like what? No, not skewer. I don't want skewer. Undo. I don't want to do the.
Not.
What happened? Hang on. I think I accidentally unequipped her ability. How do I get that back? Probably can't do it in battle, huh? Oh, here we go.
Not a problem, boss.
Need you to aggro them while I move back. I need you.
Just give me the signal.
All right. Let's heal up.
On it.
Hi.
What do we have here?
Well, it's not walking that trap. Is? The Overlord's peons have arrived. Blades up. Hulks in hand and ready for battle, the Vendrian Guard captain bellows orders to the warriors in his camp. Dressed in tarnished bronze and sporting countless scars across his arms, Halok's Florian towers over his peers. If you value your life, drop... His words fall silent as he scans your face in careful detail. Wait, I know you. How on Teradus do I know your face? Can it be? Peacebinder? The warrior relaxes his grip on his felks. Come to lecture me again about not holding up my end of the surrender. If you value your life, drop everything and flee, or stand and fight. I'm happy with that option too.
Just seemed unsporting for me to suggest it. Die, Oathbreaker! No! The giant man whistles a shrill, sustained note that pierces your ear and echoes off the foothills to the east. In rehearsed unison, the warriors and his crew follow along, sounding their signal for all in the area to hear. Alright, so we are going to have... give me this mini-map. We're going to have fuckers coming in pretty soon here. Alright, I need you to bolster everyone as quickly as possible. I want you... do this. You here. We're gonna set him aflame.
On my command.
Nothing stands in our way.
And we'll use this to set him aflame.
I got it.
Okay. Lantry, I need you to move the fuck over here. Quickly. I need you to zap this one. Lantry, heal yourself.
Once.
Over there.
Right.
And you.
I did that? Nice! Where did all
He fell again. That's cool. Oh. Pretend you're falling for a while. You pick items. Heal yourself.
Right.
You suck.
Wake me up when it's over.
Damn it. Oh, and I'm about to fall too. Damn. Okay. Interesting. Ritual of Frost and Fire together. Oh, interesting. Acquired lore 60. 15. 45. Assigned it to him. So I want him dealing more damage. Illusion. Touch. Yeah, you definitely need this shit. No, I don't need to do that. You. Lightning touch. Arch fist. Okay. It's really nice that those other guys came in to help, you know. They said they would. Okay. I do want to be wearing this because I kind of need
Extra protection. Actually, on you, you need extra protection pretty badly. For you, let's give you. Huh. Who's dual wheel one-handed? She needs to be. There's kind of no point. I gave you this. Worth it either. Okay. Let's rest. Cause goddamn. That shit went kinda bad. Step in the trap, thank you. Oh, more. Good. Good, cool. Okay, well, it's a good thing I rested. Let's start with you. I forgot to assign this ability back. Son of a bitch. Do that. I want you to rush this one. Need you out of the damn way. Frozen grasp, sex the door. Cast that actually on yourself. Fireball.
Trouble is afoot.
Okay, now you. How are you already damaged so much again? God. Up in Frozen Grasp with this one. You. I want you to rush this one still. You. I turned down the difficulty a little bit at some point.
Hope you fancy red.
What happened to the other one I just picked up? Did I not just pick up two? Those? Whoa. Oh, was one broken? Yeah, it was. Is this better? More range, more armor penetration, less accuracy. They really give you a lot of fucking immersion fodder in this game. Feel about that? You killed him. Grits his teeth and glares at you. Are you daft? Fifth Eye said we can kill any of them except Florian. You pompous little fuck. You think this is some laughing matter? Enraged, he reaches for his sword only to hesitate upon seeing the blood dripping off of your weapons. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now anyway. I'll have to report this unfortunate turn of events to the voices of Narad in person. Hopefully ridding this wilderness of the Oathbreaker nuisance will be enough to save my own face. Now get out of here. Don't you have other fates to bind or something of that sort? Well, I'll eat shit. Dumbass. Agate.
I feel much improved.
Wow. You leveled up. This... Back on. How do I do that? Oh, excuse me. This. Back to her bar. Drowsy. Oh, there's like a whole thing going on here, huh? Who's this?
I never had
I
a
won't be
chance.
taking less damage. Am I just like reading this wrong? Launch a burning arrow that sets foes on fire. Or was it because she's on the wrong weapon set? No. On her bow. Play that back on the bar. So confusing. Alright, whatever. I can grab, move it around, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't exist anymore. How did you do that? Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How did you do that? Well, I've done it before. I don't know why I didn't realize it earlier. You proclaimed the Edict of Stone and Azure. Lighted the entire realm, all to destroy the rebellious Archon. Can't believe that was you. That was me, alright. Call me impressed. Considering you've read the words of Kairos more than once, I'm surprised you're even alive to tell of it. Your vocal cords should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just worth recognizing what you've done. Not only are you Tunon's Fatebinder, you're a mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reasons to stick around. You're going places, and I want to see where they lead. If you say so. That's enough for now.
Will do.
Time to fuck off back to Scarlet Chorus Camp. Oy. New missive from Tunon. Marrow, perhaps your continued and faithful service shall remind the Archons of their duties to the Overlord. One can hope. May fortune favor your endeavor. Cool. Interesting. Why do I keep hitting C? Oh, yeah, you can wear that. Yeah, look at him now. The hottie. Yeah, you don't need that. The Fifth Eye, commander of the local Scarlet Chorus, surveys his camp, watching in stillness as all manner of violence and revelry occur around him, alpha fighting under your approach. Oh, I don't need to talk to him again. Okay. Is there a merchant here? Deathman. You? You. You? What's an extra game? Blah, 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 blah. I'm just gonna leave. Hail, vape under, tune on. Okay, bye.
How'd you take a look at that?
What? Oh, look at that. Sure. I don't think there's a merchant. Alright. I think it's getting pretty late for me. I'm tired as hell. I think I'm gonna call it there. I think I'm gonna call it there. I do appreciate everyone hanging out. Here you are. Music going. I really appreciate everyone hanging out. Even though tonight was like real chill, real low effort. But you know, still nice to have people hang out and watch me play shit. Even though I'm just sitting here like mumbling what I'm doing and reading dialogue that everyone can see on screen. Still appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and raid Dot level because she's who I'm gonna be watching. So let's go ahead and raid her. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Big appreciate. Y'all have yourself a wonderful rest of your nights. Yeah? Bye-bye.